Welcome to the Switch Clicks podcast, episode 106, recorded on October 18th, 2022. Today, I thought about doing something a little bit different. Dakota isn't here, and there isn't much news. We're going to talk about Werewolf by Night, the new Marvel special presentation. Ooh. And it's kind of spooky to fit the theme of October. And I thought people are probably bored of our highly scripted and edited, good stuff that comes with Play It By Tier. So I thought,
the high quality.
there's no problem. I don't see any problems with just a not scripting a movie review. That sounds
ad-libbed improvised movie review.
That seems easy and not like it will go that
Not
bad at all.
Yeah, yeah.
To Dakota editing this, I'm sorry if this is horrible. And to the listener, I extend the same apology. But before we start off, I have a little game like Jigsaw. I have this little game that I've definitely not stolen from another podcast that I listen to. It is 100% not from the podcast Mostly Nitpicking, in which they also cover movies. They do this little thing. Or, sorry, they don't.
Shoutouts.
We do this little thing that
we do it.
Yeah,
it's
we do it.
Trademarked.
This is an original idea called the IMDb B as in spelling bee, which is a joke that is our own and does not require a little bit of context from another podcast. This game is you open up IMDb and we both try to guess what the IMDb summary will be for the upcoming movie we're going to talk about. And the winner gets to share their thoughts on the movie first. So I'll go first just because I kind of know how at least we have always formatted this. But so here's my guess. After joining a yearly ritual to hunt dangerous monsters, our hero meets up with a few unlikely allies to defeat the real monsters behind it all. There we go. That's my summary.
Oh, that's it?
That's because they're pretty short. Like, they're short, brief summaries that show up at the beginning of IMDb.
After set within the Marvel Cinematic Universe, we follow this. What's his name again?
I don't remember his name. His name is Jack Russell. Okay.
We follow Jack Russell as he joins this group of hunters to commemorate a celebrated figure, only to realize that not everything is normal.
Okay. So, now this is a common problem with this other podcast that we did not steal this idea from. We both were very incorrect.
Very, very incorrect.
Here we go. The real IMDb summary follows a lycanthrope superhero who fights evil using the abilities given to him by a curse brought on by his bloodline.
What the heck?
I mean, like, when you're doing IMDb, when you're making a summary for IMDb, who needs like a proper beginning? Who needs this movie follows? When follows works perfectly well. Anyway,
that's true.
You did say follows, so you're closer. So you got to go first.
You did say hero, though. I did not use the term hero.
Is
there anything else? Anything else? Any other specific keywords there?
Here, okay, let's see who gets closer on the Rotten Tomatoes score.
Oh, are you kidding me?
Okay. Yeah, just get.
Wait, are we looking at the overall?
Let's go to the critics score. Let's see who gets closer on that. Yeah.
Okay. Critics score, I'd say give or take 70%.
70? I'm gonna think a 93.
Oh, setting the bar high, eh?
It is a 90. All right, so I win. Wow, that's really high.
That is really high.
That is really high.
Wow.
Based on 94 reviews. So that's interesting.
Okay. That's almost 100 each.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so I guess I'm the first one to describe my thoughts on
Congratulations.
this movie. Well, I guess I should do the summary. So as you probably won't need it because we summarized it so well at the beginning. This movie, or I guess Marvel special presentation, is about Jack Russell, the
Yeah.
titular Werewolf by Night, as he shows up at a party filled with monster hunters as he needs to save his best friend Man Thing. Uh, so he's kind of infiltrated this monster hunter group, and on his way he meets up with Elsa Bloodstone, the kind of pushed to the side daughter of the family that no one likes because of reasons that don't really get brought up that much, and they work together to save Man Thing. However, after figuring out he's a werewolf, Jack Russell, the monster hunters capture him and torture him, and then he goes werewolf mode and kills them all, and that's how it ends. It's a pretty
All,
short story,
all except for Elsa.
all except for Elsa. That is true.
And that one elderly man who I think
Oh
was
yeah,
like
the
the butler.
butler. The butler survives.
Yes, the butler also survives.
Oh, I found
And
him.
also Man Thing comes back to save the day as well.
Oh yeah, Man Thing does come back. Just shows you how caught up I am on this movie. So, thoughts on Werewolf by Night?
Thoughts?
I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good for a presentation, like a lower budget
Hmm.
presentation.
It's like a nice, concise, hour-long Marvel thing that I kind of
Yeah,
wish more of the TV shows were, if I'm being honest.
yeah. I feel like that's kind of like the problem with most MCU shows now. They
hmm
write them in a way that it's very sequential and not so much of a independent story. And
Yeah,
that's
it's
kind of
just
the
they
charm that
got a
Star Wars had.
big. They wrote like a big 6 hour long movie and then cut it into six parts rather than
Yep,
making each episode individually with an endpoint in mind.
I know, right?
But
I kind of miss those, but hey,
yeah, I think She-Hulk did a good job. She-Hulk and like WandaVision did
yeah,
both
both
a
of
pretty
those.
good job of making actual episodes to a TV show. And surprise,
Yeah,
surprise, they're the good ones. So,
yes, they are the good ones. Don't review upon them, please.
well, I don't think there's much stopping. Our our insane influence won't stop the even more insane
Rotten
review
Tomatoes.
bombing of She-Hulk.
Oh
Uh,
boy.
but back on the topic of Werewolf by Night, this like the
Hmm.
biggest selling point of this movie, if for whatever reason you haven't seen it and you clicked on this video, is that it's in
Yeah.
black and white. Ooh,
Ooh.
it's like a traditional monster movie. Wow,
Ooh. Oh
you
my
love to
gosh.
see it. Uh
Well, surprisingly enough, that's not even the reason why I chose to watch the movie.
oh
I mean, I guess by
yeah
obligation, there's the unwritten rule that you have to watch every MCU TV show, movie, and
yeah
short. But
yeah for when Jack Russell shows up in like Ant-Man Quantumania.
I know, just in
Yeah,
case he shows up in
yeah,
Quantumania.
just in case. You never want to be caught by surprise. Um, funnily enough, it's black and white, but it's not like shot on film, so it's like a digitally shot
Oh, like
movie that they then put a
okay,
black and white and like old filter over. And
with a couple colors of
yeah,
CGI.
well, yeah, CGI colors. And I honestly think, despite it kind of obviously not being like film,
Hmm.
shot on film, it still looks really good.
I
And
mean, yeah,
I like the
yeah.
color. I like the little bits of color they put in there. It really they don't
Hmm.
do it very often. They only do it
No,
once, and
yeah.
that's cool.
It kind of reminds me, like, I guess part of the reason why it didn't really shock me why it's so good is because I won't say they did the same thing for WandaVision, but they definitely did some black and white segments back
Yeah.
there.
Mhm.
And that was for a completely different genre, but I was already
Yeah.
impressed by just simply how it looked and how convincing it was with even
Mhm.
just a digital filter.
Yeah. I think a surprising thing about this movie, arguably the most surprising thing, is the director,
Yeah,
Michael
Michael
Giacchino, I want to say.
Yeah,
Giacchino?
Spider-Man composer, Doctor
Yeah.
Strange composer,
The big movie composer also knows how to direct movies too. So that's cool. And like
and that's
he doesn't
yeah,
even
like
direct them like nameless Marvel director number 4. He
No,
actually
like
has like a very unique way, and
yeah.
it looks very visually interesting.
Well, not
Like,
to mention because of the fact that he did the music and like the soundtrack and the filming, he
mhm,
basically had a very, very clear idea on how he'd want the music and the
yeah.
scenes to match up.
I think this movie, if I'm being completely honest, is really carried by the visuals because the story
Hmm.
itself is like, okay,
Yeah,
you're
it
not
kind of was
wowed by
there.
it.
No, no,
It's
not at all.
what's needed for an hour-long special about a werewolf man, but it's nothing crazy. It's more just like the creative use of effects, like
Yeah.
the dead dad, Ulysses Bloodstone, I think. Uh,
The
has
fire, what do you call it?
yeah.
The fire sousaphone
hmm
that they used to track the man thing.
It's just it's a very cool. It's cool that he's like practical, and for the
Yeah.
longest time, I thought like in the back of my mind, I kind of thought Man Thing was kind of practical too, and it's
Hmm.
almost true. He is entirely CGI, but there is a big practical Man Thing used for reference when they were shooting.
Oh, yeah,
So
right.
that's cool.
I guess that's reasonable for
Yeah,
half
it's kind of what
practical.
everything does. It's like what most things do, but I don't know. It's cool to see a good-looking Man Thing. I'm not sure if
Hmm.
you've watched. Okay, I'm saying I'm not sure. You've almost 100% not watched the 2005 Man Thing movie that
I
was
have not.
produced in an extremely low budget. I
I
haven't
have
yet.
definitely
Uh,
not, and
it
I.
is unfortunately coming up on my list of movies to watch for my superhero
Oh,
reviews, so I will have to watch it.
intense.
It isn't
That's gonna
very
be fun.
good,
It isn't
apparently.
very good. Oh
It was a
boy,
very small budget, and Man Thing doesn't look very. He
man
looks
thing.
fine, but he doesn't
He
look like
doesn't.
Man Thing. Unlike this
Oh
one, where it looks like ripped right of the comics Man Thing.
well, there's something for the comic fans.
Yeah,
Something a little
yeah,
more faithful.
something a little more flavor. Unlike Elsa Bloodstone. Elsa Bloodstone doesn't look exactly like she does in the comics, so I'm mad. Um,
Yeah, this is automatically a bad movie because she doesn't look like from
automatically
the
bad. It's true.
comics.
That's what happens. That's what happens when you don't make them exactly like the comics. Everyone, there's a big uproar. Um, However, another thing I just wanted to like another thing to add on top, and
Hmm.
another big thing for this movie is well, we've already kind of talked about it's a lot of practical effects. There is
Yeah.
CGI. There's probably quite a lot of CGI that you don't notice, but
Hmm.
the reliance on practical effects to make it look old is very cool. And I
Yep.
think the violence is also cool because it doesn't
Yes.
because it's black and white, it kind of can get away with a little bit more stuff, which I like a lot because
Yeah, I have to agree with that.
you get a werewolf movie where he like kills someone and then blood splatters on the screen. And you're like, that's so goofy. That's silly little
Even
werewolf. He killed them all.
even just like losing limbs is something that they
Yeah,
kind of just banked on completely on this film.
yeah.
They didn't hesitate at all.
No, you never see limbs get lost in Marvel movies, other
Up
than
until
like,
now,
well, it's actually wait, no. I'm trying to. I don't think
there
anyone's
were
lost a limb. Hulk might as well have
oh,
lost a limb temporarily.
Ulysses Claw
Oh
getting
yeah,
his arm
Ulysses
chopped
Claw
off,
lost a limb. That's true.
but
And then he lost his life.
we didn't really see blood. We just saw like
Yeah.
chop gone.
Yeah. Well, it's
Whereas this
close.
one, close enough, but this one is a whole different level. It's getting up there.
Yeah. I and I just keep bringing up like one small thing after another, and this is probably the smallest.
Yeah.
But later in the movie, after he saves Man Thing,
Hmm.
there's a scene where they forcefully turn him into a werewolf with the use of the Bloodstone. Ooh. And
Ooh.
the way he turns into a werewolf is it's like an old monster movie way of saving budget, where it's just a shot of Elsa being scared and his like shadow transforming, which I
Oh,
think
yes.
is very cool. I honestly think I prefer it to like a campy practical transformation that they could also do. I think this one is just a very creative way to do it.
It's a nice homage to all those classic
Mhm.
films.
Yeah. And let's see. Any last like
Well,
I
there was the
realized
ending
not
part.
last, but
There's a lot of there's a lot of other cool
there's a
things
lot
about this
of
film.
small this movie is comprised of a lot of small things.
Yeah,
It's
maybe that's the reason why it's gotten so many good reviews.
yeah, yeah, probably. I think it's just like a fun movie. It's not
Hmm,
trying to be anything crazy. It's just
yeah.
like, what if we made a black and white horror movie, Marvel? And yeah.
Yeah. It's
Mhm.
come to think of it, it's like the first time they actually did something like this ever for at least for Marvel. But
Yeah.
and
I'm
to see
excited for
that,
future special presentations.
oh, me too. Like there's so much potential with these, and
Mhm.
I really hope that they do start taking a bunch of risks here that they wouldn't do in like a movie or a series.
Mhm.
It just gives them a
Yeah.
much better identity.
What would you do for
Um,
Christmas? Because I feel like it's probably like a holiday thing. I'm trying
they
to think
kind
what
of
Christmas related
well,
thing would a Marvel special presentation be about?
I think there is already one actually.
Oh yeah, is that
Yeah,
considered a special? I guess it probably is.
it would be because it's being released on Disney Plus,
Yeah,
and
the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special.
exactly, it has shorter runtime than a movie. Although
It's
I
true.
so that could be I think that's the next one we'll be looking forward to.
I think so.
Hopefully, I I'm expecting this to be not like the biggest action movie ever, but it's going to be something wacky, something amazing that we wouldn't expect to see even from a Guardians movie.
Hmm. Um, on the topic, I think. I mean, I'm saying this as like a joke, but something
Yeah,
they could actually do is like a Hanukkah movie for a later year once like the Fantastic Four is in,
yeah,
and you just get a bunch of the Jewish Marvel characters together for like a silly
sure,
little get together movie.
yeah.
Granted, I don't know very many of them. I know Moon Knight and The Thing. So maybe it will just be them. But who
Moon Knight
knows?
and the Thing.
Moon
Hmm,
Knight and The Thing get together, celebrate Hanukkah, and then like
that's
something bad happens and they have to
like
team up.
four characters in one.
Yeah. It'd be such a weird movie. Like imagine marketing a movie where it's like everyone's favorite member of the Fantastic Four, The Thing,
The
teams
Thing.
up with Moon Knight. And I don't know what they're going to do, but they
But they're
sure
gonna
are
do it,
Jewish.
and they're gonna do it.
They're going to do it. They're going to do it for sure. Uh, back onto the topic of this movie. I want to hear your opinion on the titular werewolf. Like, not the actor pre makeup. I'm thinking post makeup. When
Post
he
makeup,
is
like,
actually werewolf and he's like looking into
oh,
the camera and you can kind of see him in his full glory. Do you like the werewolf? Because I'm kind of mixed.
um, I feel like it's. I gotta be bluntly honest. Like the werewolf could have been a little more scarier in the sense because I
Yeah.
think I think the whole like issue right now like is that the way that they filmed him. Yes, he's vicious, but they've humanized him a lot, like many times throughout like the whole final scene of the movie,
Yeah.
and as a result, you kind of just like know like, oh, he's not gonna go after Elsa and like kill her. He's gonna turn back to human, and you just keep seeing like those shots of like his eyes and whatnot or his face, and it ends up giving you that kind of impression that even though he's a vicious fighter, he's not really like a
Yeah.
vicious werewolf at that point.
Also, this is like a lot more, there's a lot less thought behind this statement. He kind of
Yeah.
looks ugly.
To put it bluntly honest,
he I know what
it
they're
doesn't look
going
like a
for. They're
werewolf.
going for like the classic Universal monster movie werewolf design,
Yeah.
and I've never been a fan of it. I don't like how it looks, but he kind of looks ugly. His like
Yeah.
I think my personal thoughts of like werewolves are like full wolf face and not
Me
like the
too.
weird half thing that the Universal Marvel monster movies do.
Yeah,
But I mean, I respect that they did it.
yeah.
I just think it doesn't look very good.
I now that you mention it, I don't think it looks very good in the sense of trying to make Marvel characters unique because I'm certain that there's going to be a certain mutant that looks awfully familiar and just has blue fur with literally like the same type of attacks and whatnot.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Beast.
Yeah.
I I can't like let go of the comparisons because it's there. Like you can see like how he goes to throw characters, how he uses his claws, the exact same way that Beast did back in the X-Men films. And
Yeah.
I kind of wish that like I kind of wish that he was a little more unique. Like even though he's
He
good
does
enough,
look a
but
lot like Beast. I'm looking him up now.
yeah, he kind of looks like Beast
Especially
at that point.
especially
Well,
like first class Beast.
yeah, especially
Like,
especially first class Beast.
mhm. Because later I actually quite like how Beast looks in
Yeah.
later Marvel stuff. Or like
Yeah, he
the
kind of
earlier
looks a
stuff, like
little.
X2 and like the early X-Men stuff, he looks pretty good. But
Oh yeah,
then
the Last Stand.
First Class, they went more
Ugh.
animalistic and it doesn't
Yeah,
doesn't look very good. And it kind of
he
reminds
looked
me of
okay.
this one.
Yeah.
Oh
How
well.
about you though? How about you though? Like, I guess is there like any sort of particular like any other character that particularly looked out of place or
In the movie?
underwhelming? Yeah.
Let me think. So, this is a really weird one. And like I don't know how any it's a weird thing to say. I didn't really she acted her heart out,
Yeah.
but I didn't love Verusa is apparently her name.
Is
The
that
the old lady who is evil. She's acting her
Oh,
heart out, but
but yeah.
I don't love her character. If I'm being honest, my like favorite character outside of Jack Russell and Elsa Bloodstone is
Yeah.
probably the guy with the axe because
Oh,
he's just a
I
guy with an
forgot his
axe and he
I
has
forgot
like
his name,
one
but I know
line.
what
Looking
one
here,
line and
his
big
name
dumb
might
stupid
be
move.
Joven. Jovan? I
Joven?
don't know.
Joven? Is he like
Jovan. Might be him.
some niche Marvel Comics
Oh
character
yeah,
I
well,
should
let
be
me look
knowing
that
about?
up. Jovan Marvel. I'm wow, I am spelling so badly right now.
Oh
Johan
boy.
Marvel. Um,
Search like Marvel Comics or something.
yeah, it looks like it doesn't exist.
Joven Marvel MCU, and then look at
Jovana exists. Not even remotely the same character,
I guess.
but they made him up. He doesn't
Wow,
exist.
that's a first. Actually, that's not a
That
first, but
that
still,
that is
that's
a rare instance.
yeah,
Something
someone
like
that's
that
actually
happening.
original.
An
Oh my
original
goodness.
character. I mean,
Wow. And he's kind
they're
of
gonna
memorable.
realize how popular it is when all the kids are walking around in Joven Halloween costumes. So
Oh my gosh.
you better get
Well,
put
they
in the
know
comics soon.
kids will know him as the big dumb guy who runs around with
Yeah.
an axe.
Kids in like grade 4 are like, dude, you're dressed as Joven for Halloween? I wish I could be Joven, but my mom didn't want me to. That's probably what's gonna happen, I imagine.
Oh boy. I hope you're right. I hope you're right about that.
One person's dressed up as Man Thing, the other person's dressed up as Joven, and they just run towards Joven, like, please sign whatever. I love Joven. And the Man Thing person is all sad
Very
because
sad.
it's true. He is one of the better characters. Oh, I completely forgot. So there's this scene kind of early on
Hmm.
where, early-ish, when they're in like the maze where they all fight to the death and it's all gory and stuff. The
Yeah.
fact that Elsa Bloodstone shoots someone in the throat and then has to put her hand over their mouth as they're choking on their own blood to avoid being heard by the mighty Joven is
Oh,
which is an insane scene.
yeah,
I love that. That was
that
like,
was actually
whoa.
something. That was impressive. I
That was
completely
like kind of that was a very brutal scene for a Marvel movie.
Yeah, even like especially for MCU standards. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, you'll never see Captain America do that, probably.
No, you'll never. Well,
I
I
don't
mean,
think you'll ever see
no.
Captain America do that. If he
US
does,
maybe US agents,
um,
but
I'll eat I'll eat a shoe, I think. That's what I'll do if
you
Captain
know he's gonna
America ever
now
does
he's gonna
that.
do now he's gonna do that in Secret Wars.
It's
Come on.
true. He's gonna do it. They
He's
do.
gonna be real Hydra Captain America, and he's gonna be doing that.
Yeah. I know Kevin Feige does listen to this, and he has like DM'd me on Twitter, and he's like, I will make you eat a shoe one day. So I shouldn't have said that,
Uh
because
oh. Uh
yeah,
oh.
I think it might be in the next one. So if Captain America in Secret Wars shoots Kang in the throat and then chokes him out as, like, I don't know, someone walks by, then
Also cuts
you
off
know
his
who to
one of
blame.
his arms.
Yeah, you know who to blame. That's all I really gotta
Yes.
say.
Yes, you know how to blame if that ever happens.
Hmm. All right. Well,
I guess that kind of leaves us with well, I guess what are your thoughts on that ending scene, by the way? When everything
oh,
started turning
were
to
they
color.
camping?
When they're camping and when
Yeah,
everything started
I
turning to
forgot
color
about
and the
that.
Wizard of Oz music started playing.
I like that. I liked that scene a lot. I liked how after he was done werewolfing, he was just caught up by his best friend Ted, aka Man Thing, and they just chilled out and they had a good time. And they're like, "Can't wait for next Halloween." As they looked into the camera and smiled.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think next Halloween they're gonna move on with the other kind of like Universal monster movie characters? Like I think there's like the Living Mummy. Uh,
Ooh, the Living Mummy.
I
Maybe.
know I know the Howling Commandos, not the ones from the Captain America movie, but like the ones from the comics are
Maybe.
interesting. Let me just find them. So, let's see. We got famous members of the Howling Commandos. Oh wow, there's a lot. I think it includes former members. So, Howling Commandos, we can have the wild hits. Dum Dum Duggan. Actually, no, he already exists
He's
in the
dead.
Marvel. He already
Yep, he's there.
exists.
Yep, he
Shoot.
already exists.
Uh, Hit Monkey. Hit Monkey from the hit TV show Hit Monkey. He can be there.
Wait, you think he's gonna cross
Manphibian.
over?
Everyone loves Manphibian.
Amphibian?
Everyone
Oh.
loves him. When he shows
Oh.
up, everyone will go crazy.
Yep.
Teen Abomination. I don't know who that
Teen Ab-
is, but
is the Teen Abomination?
you
What's
know,
that?
Abomination's moved on. He has his little camp, hanging out with
Spoiler
Wong
alert, spoiler alert,
occasionally.
spoiler alert. Yes, he has a camp.
Oh yes, that's true. The show did end kind of recently. Oh well. If you
Oh
got
well.
this far, you probably have seen it.
Yeah.
Uh he probably has a kid somewhere, like Scar, uh who looks
Oh,
very stupid.
that
Teen
was a
Abomination. That's all I had to say.
Teen Abomination. Okay. Teen
As a
Abomination.
person who's definitely not ripping off Werewolf by Night's shtick, you have Vampire by Night.
Oh.
Ooh.
But
And then other
wait,
basic
which vampire?
hits.
Oh, that's
I don't know. It
they
just
can't
this
use
just
they're
says.
not legally allowed to use a
Yeah, they're not
vampire.
allowed to
Like,
use it. Hmm.
well, I mean, unless there's another special deal, but that's never gonna happen.
Yeah. And here, some last ones to like tease you with, as they are probably going to show up. Abominable Snowman,
Yeah,
Blade's in
yeah.
it, who actually is a possibility.
Oh yeah, we've
Groot
already
is in it. Groot's been in
what?
it. Maybe
Oh,
Groot will show up at some point. The Living
which Groot
Mummy, as we
though?
mentioned before, and then our two favorites, the Golden Gator. Everyone loves the Golden Gator, and Frank.
Frank.
Yes, I
Good
don't know
old
who
Frank.
Frank is, but he's on the list. His name is
He's on the
just
list.
Frank. Oh, it's Frankenstein's monster, obviously. I don't know why they just
Ah.
called him Frank on the list, but it's kind of funny to just say it's Frank. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Frankenstein's monster shows up eventually in one
Yeah,
of these.
it's a possibility. And
And
yeah,
unless we have something else, do we have anything else? Any last thoughts on this movie?
one
Even
very
though,
important thing. One
oh, a
very
very
important
important
thing.
thing. Okay, so
Yes,
don't leave yet, dear
don't leave yet.
listener.
So, because this is not a movie, as you all know, this is a television special released on Disney
Yes.
Plus, not a theatrical release. It
No
means
theatrical.
that our superhero comic play-by-tier reviewer here won't
Yes,
be
me.
covering this
I'm
movie
Bala.
in this long-running cinematic universe of documentaries
Oh
reviewing superhero
yeah.
movies.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
as a result, we will be semi-officially ranking. I'm not sure if we'll ever
We're probably not.
consider.
It won't be like a.
Pro-
I don't think
Probably
the
won't be a
tier
review.
list won't show up on screen. But if we were to rank it,
If we were to rank it,
where
I'll give
would
you
I
the
rank
honors.
it?
I'll give you the honors because
Me. I mean, I
you're
think we
the
should
expert.
both go because I'm not sure what we're both thinking. I think
At the same
this.
time,
Oh, sure, sure. Okay, okay.
okay.
Sorry, Dakota. This is gonna
Sorry,
be rough.
Dakota.
3,
Three,
2,
two, one.
1. B. Like
B.
kind of like a high B.
It's a B.
Whoa, official. Official
Okay,
tier
that's
list that
official.
won't show up
Official
on
tier list.
screen, but you'll all know it in your hearts if you got this far. It's
It's a
like
B
a
tier.
pretty good B movie.
Yeah,
Nothing crazy, but
nothing too
like
crazy. Not memorable, but it has its moments.
it's like if someone was like, "Hey, want to watch Werewolf by Night?" I'd be like, "Yeah, sure. I'd love to
Yeah,
watch Werewolf by Night."
yeah. It's a nice movie to
Will I
have a
watch
fun
it
time
again?
watching.
Probably not.
Yeah, probably not. It's
Would you count
just
this as a movie to watch in like the Marvel rewatch?
um.
When you do like a Marvel rewatch, would
Well,
you count this?
I probably would just because it's
Yeah,
done like because Kevin Feige worked on it, so
it's true.
I can't
I
ignore
haven't
it.
rewatched all the Marvel movies until the TV show since the TV shows have come out. So
I haven't done that either
I
because
feel
it
like
takes up way too much time.
Marvel rewatches will take a very long time now. It's not like a
Well,
one sitting 24-hour Marvel marathon kind of thing.
keep in
You're now
mind,
looking
there's
at like
also
a week.
keep in mind that's also excluding all the TV shows that are ambiguously
Oh
canon.
yeah.
That
It
adds
would be
like
weird.
hundreds of
Like, I
hours.
feel like would I wouldn't watch Daredevil, I think, for MCU rewatch.
I would, but not something
Just because you
like
like Daredevil. Just because
maybe
you
there.
probably just 'cause you,
Yeah, well, Daredevil. I guess it's not really that much of a spoiler, but he kind of feels a little consistent despite the review bombs of She-Hulk. He kind of still
yeah.
feels like Daredevil, and
Oh
I'd
yeah, he
say
feels
this.
so much like Daredevil.
Yeah, and
It's the same character and I love it.
I think Werewolf by Midnight because of the fact that it's like the cinematography and like the music, just the overall vibes of it. Um,
Hmm.
if like it feels like there's no consequence to adding it onto your watch list. Like that's only like what an hour to your watch list, and
Maybe.
that doesn't really do much.
Yeah.
Even though it might not be relevant to I don't know like the Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars.
Hmm. I
Who
wouldn't be
knows?
surprised if he's like a little cameo, but
Yeah, maybe a small cameo,
maybe a small
but
one.
it's a little piece of a puzzle, and it's kind of like watching Moon Knight, for example. Like
Hmm.
that series, it barely has any relevance, but it's still something really good to watch.
Hmm. Even though the comics are better, but that's all I'm gonna say. Anyway, we love Werewolf by Night, best movie ever.
Yes,
Yeah, best movie ever.
best movie
And
ever.
I'd agree, best movie ever.
Better than
Uh,
Infinity War.
yeah, yeah, definitely. I think it's the Godfather Who. That's all I gotta say.
Oh, you're
Yeah.
pitching it that high up, eh?
Yeah. Marlon Brando is rolling in his grave, or he's shaking. He's shaking in his grave. He was like, "Dang it! I thought I had the best movie of all time." But thank you for joining us in discussing the best movie of all time, Werewolf by Night. We would love it if you could follow us on Twitter and listen to future episodes on Spotify and iTunes. Join our community Discord server to continue today's discussion, and we'll see you next time on the Switch Clicks podcast. Also follow me on Twitter at TJTLEE_, because no one can stop me, and I only have like 14 followers.